All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 42 of the Hideout. My name is Nick Frontera. I am the founder and CEO of Apollo Entertainment, the company behind Satoshiverse. We're going to have an awesome panel today. We do this every week, so if those of you who are new to the spaces, we do this every week. We talk about metaverse and gaming with some of the pioneers of the space. So today will be no exception. We have an awesome panel here. What we'll start out by doing is some introductions, and then we will jump into some questions with our host Spencer. By way of quick introduction, myself, I got into the Web3 and gaming space in 2017. Before that, I was working as a lawyer in the entertainment industry. But the idea of digital asset ownership was something that really I thought would kind of change the way that we operate digitally for the future. So I dove head in 2017, got very involved in the NFT art space and gaming space, working at a company called Game Credits before this, and then founded Apollo Entertainment about 3 years ago with the rest of our awesome team and founders. For the last 2 years, we've been working on our Satoshiverse project and Satoshi's Legions game, which was originally a comic art collaboration with Marvel and DC comic artist Jose Delbo. We won't touch on that a ton today because I really want to get into the other projects that are here, but I will say one thing, and that is to definitely check out the pinned messages at the top if you're not familiar with Satoshiverse. We just released our phase 4 alpha version of the game on testnet. So it's now open to anyone with a blockchain wallet and an email address. It is on PC, so you will need a PC to play the game. But we've been working on this game for 2 years, and it's free to play, and there's some cool prizes. But enough about me, enough about us. We're going to turn now to our guests, and let me just make sure we've got everyone on stage, which I think we do, except for Spencer. So we'll try to get Spencer on stage. Why don't we start out with Danu Games? Do we have Marius there?
Always on the spot.
Yep, first up, random selection, I promise.
Always on the spot. I'm guilty. All right. Good morning, everyone. Early morning in California, 10 a.m. Beautiful, sunny. Can't get any better than being here. This is Marius, CEO and founder of Dana Games and Avalon, the game part 1, the Druids. What else, guys, to tell you? We have an MMORPG that it's a multi-chain game. Some say the only one in existence in blockchains. Some other ones say that it's the only one in the world that has multiple chains connected and you can collect rewards. We've been in the market for the last 2 years. We've launched the alpha game in December of the last year. We're excited to be here and share some knowledge with you guys about NFTs, and thank you for the invite and having us on the panel. And we just this Sunday have been listed and are officially approved as an Epic Games MMO on the Epic Games Store. And even better, they like our project, and we've been promoted on first page of MMOs and first page of MMORPGs. That's it.
Amazing. Well, really, really excited to have you here and talk a little bit more about multi-chain. We're also building a multi-chain infrastructure, and I know how hard that can be firsthand. So really excited to have you, and we'll get into that a little bit more later. How about we go to NFTopia? Do we have Sarah there?
Yes, hey guys, this is Sarah, co-founder of NFTopia. Some of our co-founders are here. I have Consumer Break, and then we also had Tony Tripp from Cyber Vandals. Super happy to be here. Before I get into my quick introduction, just let's give a pause to Dana Games for everything they've accomplished. I felt like everything he said, we should have just been like, woo, yes, let's do it, So, congratulations again. NFTopia is a quarterly Metaverse event. We have previously been hosting our Web3 community experiences for the past, well, I used to work with Splinterlands, and we hosted DigiCon, and after that kind of ended quite abruptly last year in November. The Web3 community was like, all right, Sarah, what's next? We got to keep this going. So that's how we came together. We formed Anatopia. We were forming events to bring a platform where everybody from small creators to larger projects can have a space, and for everybody in the community to enjoy our time together and learn about each other.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining. Really excited to get into it with you and learn more about NFTopia and what you guys are doing. So why don't we go over now to Consumer Break? Who do we have over there on the Consumer Break account?
Hey, how's it going? I'm known as Breakman. You guys hear me okay?
Loud and clear.
My mic
Yeah,
working
you
okay?
sound great.
Fantastic. I own the mobile app Consumer Break. It's a jigsaw style puzzle game, fast paced, where you can win rewards. It's a collaboration and marketing app for other projects. We actually feature other projects and games. We've had that Danu games on, for example, and many other projects where they get the engagement from the user solving the puzzles and can win stuff from them. And then together with that, I'm also a live streamer, Consumer Break on Twitch, where I'll interview those projects and have them show demos, and we do giveaways. And then I also co-founded the NFTopia convention, and it's a whole lot more of that, where we have exhibitors showing off their stuff. We have live interviews, lots of activities, lots of events. So all about collaboration, bring people together, and education for Web3.
Yeah, I mean, I was checking out the project, and I love the way that you guys are gamifying, user acquisition and making it kind of a fun process for people to discover new things and get some rewards. It's simple, but it's a very unique take, and I love that. I think that those are the best ways of engaging with people. So very, very awesome. Who do we have left? Let's see. Do we have funny NFT guy up here? Yes, I think we do from the Drawn Company. Hello.
Hello, how are you? Can you hear me okay? I'm testing the mic as well because I listened to myself back in a space that we did the other week and nobody could hear me. I sounded like I was down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, I hear you okay.
Okay, cool.
If anyone else thinks he's down a rabbit hole, let us know, but it sounds okay in my headphones.
So thanks for having me on. This is great. So yeah, I'm at Funny NFT Guy. I make digital collectibles on the Wax blockchain through Drawn Company. We are the office at the start of the Metaverse. We don't really take life very seriously. We just have a lot of bloody good fun. We've got one of the fastest growing collectorships on chain. I'll be as bold to say that. And one thing I'd say to people is, if you haven't been and seen what we do on the Wax blockchain, and you're already in the Web3 ecosystem, a wallet will cost you $5 to set up. It's not free. You have to give us $5 to set up the wallet so that you can get your RAM and stuff. But there are so many good collectibles and games as well on chain that we just you won't find it elsewhere. And we've got the bonus of having the awesome Breakman and Waffles at NFTopia, who are both the hardest working people in Web3. I refuse to believe there is anybody else who works harder than these two guys to make NFTopia happen when it does, and make it the best event. And we just keep growing and growing and growing, which is really exciting. So yeah, Drawn Company.
All right, yeah, no, that sounds awesome, and I like the mantra. Sorry, I was having problems unmuting myself, yeah, fat fingers, right? I love the mantra of just letting go a little bit and having fun. I feel like that was the spirit of the space when I got into it in the early days, and I know the art space was very much that until things got crazy, and then it got a lot more commercial, I think. But it's getting back to that, and I love that. And I love that we're back to experimenting. And, oftentimes those can be the best strategies. People want a reprieve from kind of the boring corporate world. So why not come here and degen a little bit and have some fun? So I love it. Good to have you on here. let's see. Last but not least, let's have you introduce yourself, Spencer. One note before you do, actually, if there are any of the speakers on here who have a post or something interesting about the project, feel free to share it to the space. It'll pop up right there at the top, like the ones that we shared are. But yet, feel free to use that button to share whatever cool stuff, videos you think would be relevant to the community. But now we will move to Spencer and give us a quick introduction and take us away on the questions.
Thanks, Nick. Yeah, my name is Spencer Vogel. I've been working with Satoshiverse and Apollo Entertainment for the last couple years on the business and strategy side of things. So today I'll be hosting the spaces and getting into just the format. So first we're going to do a question for everyone in the group. I'll call on someone to start, and then from there everybody can just jump in and continue the conversation from there. I'll call on people if there's a lull in conversation, but and then we'll move into individual questions for everyone in the group. And then go back into everyone questions again at the end if we have some time. And then for everyone who's listening live, make sure you stick around. We're going to be doing a giveaway at the end here for a Satoshiverse trading card. So getting into the questions, and maybe Marius, you could start us off here. Why is true digital ownership an important step forward for the gaming industry as a whole?
All right. Well, you guys know me. When I start talking, I never stop. I say the favorite panel question should be always, is your game fun to play? That's number one. Ownership is important for everybody, but ownership is not a new concept. The only difference is that now we are able to move NFTs between marketplaces and give us a wider audience, I guess, that we can move your particular assets to. That whole ownership thing, people get tied up in the last couple of years. And yes, it's important that you own your asset, but you also could own them in different games. You could move accounts in Star Wars. There was a multi-billion-dollar marketplace in Diablo. You were able to sell things. Now you can sell golds in different games. So you do have some ownership. Yes, it's not recorded in a blockchain, and the marketplaces can be followed by the companies. So how we do it, and everybody has a different approach to NFTs, we do two things. We not only let you own your characters, and then when you're tired of them, you can sell them back to somebody that's interested to play it, and same goes for homes. But we also let you use mutable data that are on the back of it. And that is what the NFTs start doing in the last year and a half, which means you can play with the character, you can upgrade it, you can put your 20, 30 hours of hard work or a couple hundred, and the character is going to go to level 80 or 90, and then somebody in the marketplace is going to be really interested to buy that upgraded druid. So the ownership, importance, but also what can you really do with the NFT? Like, okay, I own this armor, but if it's worth $5, it's going to stay worth $5. Well, how about I'll compare it, guys, to buying yourself an 1950s Ford truck. You put 100 hours in that truck, and you can sell it for 4 times more, right? I'm talking about truck, not NFTs here. So, but you put in the hours, and there is possible value in the marketplace for other players to understand that, oh, we just saved a bunch of time. So how about we reward this player? So that was how I kind of approached it based on a bunch of games that I play over the years. And I really hated when some of the big marketplaces was folded by corporations and players were left with nothing, while the game still existed. So in our case, as long as the game exists, you have all these chains, you have all the marketplaces to go to. But ultimately, it's really if your game is fun. And this is I need to touch this point here for you guys because the problem in the industry of NFTs and the hypes and tons of other things that you guys are dealing with in the last 2 years, because all of you has some assets, nobody is really happy. I've seen that. Some of them are hoping for the best. And there's only, 8 good games out there. And the problem is with playability. So once you go and start playing, is it fun for you? Is your favorite card game really fun compared to the other game that you play somewhere else for $39.99, right? Is the shooter fun? Are the games really fun? Because that makes future for your possible NFTs. If the game is going to be all fancy, candy dandy, promoted with incredible amounts of money, like some of the NFT games, and then the people jump in and it's an automated butler or it's a card game that really doesn't get nowhere, some of them, because some are amazing, but some of them don't go anywhere. Whatever the value and ownership you're getting is worth nothing, as the communities will bleed out and go to something more fun. So I say fun in the gameplay and the places that you can get lost and relax after work and just disconnect from the stress that you had and meet up with friends. For us, that was number one goal, to make it fun. And that, thank God, according to the community, we succeed. And then basically whatever you have in a game, we get you the ownership. It is, I think we should really, really, really start putting pressure when you guys looking and talking to different games, because you're going to have tons of games on the panel. Just ask them, hey, are you guys released? Are you fun? What the community is saying. Is there a future in the gameplay? And then, okay, if it's fun, we move to NFTs. And then what options do you guys have? Why is this one more than that one? And for us, we decided to go multi-chain. And then I'm going to go through it a little bit further really quickly. We decided to go multi-chain to unite communities, because communities have been spread out between Wax that got a lot of hate for no reason because it had a bunch of bad projects at the beginning. Everybody has bad projects. We connected to Binance because it has a huge community. We connected to Polygon because it was a gaming chain with huge support and tons of players, and OpenSea was pumping, right? And we connected to IMX because now IMX is the gaming chain with a strong community. And then in between, these communities need to align and decide what they like. Plenty of people from Polygon moved to Wax. Some people from Wax, I'm sure, going to move to IMX. Stuff is moving around. So for us, creating a multi-chain was, by the way, all these chains, guys, don't give you anything. They don't really help you anymore. So it's not like we went there because this chain offered us this. No, we all loaded money on processing these chains in, and we see very little to no support from chains, but we see the communities. So for us was, can these players come in and be introduced to Wax? And then for us talking to Polygon players that hated Wax was, well, just try Atomic Hop because it's a marketplace that actually works. They really put a good amount of work to it. And why is Wax as a technology good? Don't look at 80% of the games, just focus on the technology, and then we're going to bring a better game. So that's kind of, I don't want to go because I can go for an hour. Thank you guys so much. I hope that was a little convoluted, but there is a message there in that answer. All right, thank you.
Yeah, I could jump in if I wanted to give everyone else a shot before I gave my kind of longer version of this. So I agree with the majority of what you said. I think that there is, as a fundamental principle, I think we're beyond the GameFi phase of NFTs and blockchain gaming, right? I think we've moved to the you need a legitimate game before you even start thinking about integrating NFTs and blockchain into it. And I agree that comes down 100% to fun and user experience, and I think all of that are key things to remember. And I think it's what every project should be thinking about first and foremost when thinking about building a blockchain enabled game. Now, my perspective on what NFTs as a technology do for games is maybe a little bit different, because I do think that ownership is maybe the most fundamental and important thing that NFTs bring to not just gaming, but digital assets generally. And so I mentioned before that prior to this, I worked as a lawyer, and one of the things that I dealt with a lot was, intellectual property rights in soft IP, copyrights, licensing, all that really boring stuff that has to happen before you play a game like Diablo or World of Warcraft or whatnot. And the reality is, although there were opportunities to sell things in different marketplaces and some failed experiments like the Real Money Auction House in Diablo 3, I think that or not I think that the reality is that you don't actually own anything in those games. There is a limited license that is revocable, and that is the basis for just about every Web2 game on the planet. As a legal matter, they have the right in the blink of an eye to take away everything that you so-called own, and that's just the Web2 infrastructure for gaming. And frankly, there's a lot of games that without that wouldn't survive, right? They built their entire business model on that. That is kind of the core fundamental aspect of it, right? For example, Diablo 4 has pretty much completely eliminated any kind of real world money, real world trading, anything, right? Any of those elements, because the game economy is not designed to have the best items, bought and sold in a real world type of way. They've made just about everything account bound, and there's certainly arguments for certain games that want to do that, and I think that's fine. I think when you're talking about ownership and the tangibilization of digital assets, what you have to think about is not just ownership as a matter of kind of what can you do with it, but ownership as a matter of law, right? Ownership as in property rights over a digital asset, which is, for the first time in history, we're starting to see surrounding NFTs, and different jurisdictions are recognizing NFTs as property. And that's important, right? Because if we're going to go into a digital future where you're getting a limited edition piece of art from your favorite digital artist, or a limited edition Gucci wearable for your avatar that you pay $300 for, or whatever it might be, right? You want to know that you're going to own that, and there's going to be certain rights that as a matter of law you're going to have with that asset. Just like if you buy a t-shirt, at a store, at a Gucci store, no one's going to tell you can't wear that Gucci shirt to a Louis Vuitton store. And in order for something like that to exist, you need an infrastructure for digital asset ownerships. And that's what NFTs do as kind of a legal technology and kind of just a fundamental principle. And that's why I believe ownership is the be all and end all of NFTs. It is the thing that NFTs do that can't be done without NFTs. Now, ownership's not going to make a fun game. We've seen that over the last couple of years. The GameFi, speculation-based games have not survived, and they're not good. But NFTs create ownership and tangibilization. I think that's, an important thing to have. Now, I think the 90% that I agree with, though, is that ownership doesn't mean anything if you don't have a great game, right? And so I think when you think about like the role of NFTs in a game, you really have to be thinking, okay, well, this is just a way, like he was saying, of transferring items, accessing new communities, accessing decentralized, marketplaces, and storing data in a more decentralized way. But at its core, you need to have a good game that people want to play, or no one's going to care about, those so-called utilities of having items within that game. So totally agree on most of it, but I would say that from, just a legal perspective, I think we have seen a paradigm shift in digital asset ownership because of NFTs, and I don't think we should understate that. I think it's a very important thing.
Awesome. Break or Sarah, you guys have anything to add to this conversation?
Well, I have something really short, just like in general about having true ownership. It's something we've already been, yeah, right. Like what you said before, we've already experienced it. It's just now it's digital, and there's a platform to make it true. So and I used to play Gaia Online and Neopets, and those were places where everything is owned just there on their website, even though I had an account. But if they ever went under, or if let's say I grew out of it, what do I do with all that stuff, right? I can't. It's not a physical thing where, okay, I have Neopets merch and I can just sell it at a garage sale to anybody, and they can have ownership over that and give it a new life, But now it's possible to do that through Web3 technology. So I think that is like the best concept especially for digital collectibles, and it's especially great for creators in general because now you know exactly where everything comes from. There's no lying, everything's on chain, and there's always a way to track it.
Awesome. Anybody else have anything to add before we move on to individual questions?
No, I think you guys covered it really well. This is a lot of stuff that I hear echoed in interviews and different games, kind of like those points that were just said where yeah, if the site goes down or if you don't want to use them anymore, then it's like you're throwing everything away. But on Web3, you're able to take it elsewhere and hopefully cross game, and like what Marius is echoing, for in the future when we have chains intermingling a lot more, then maybe you could even have a skin that could work for multiple games and things like that for companies that aren't even really related. And these are types of things that are possible.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. So moving into individual questions here. Um, Funny NFT guy, let's have you go first. So you'll be headed to MCM Comic Con in Birmingham in the UK in December. Can you tell us what you guys have
guys,
planned there at the convention?
Sorry. Can I just cut in? Can you do someone else first? Because I'm just holding the baby. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no problem.
So no, just
Thanks
cut
for
to somebody else, and then yeah.
Oh yeah,
Sorry.
new baby.
No problem at all. Thanks for letting us know. Then maybe let's go to Sarah here then. So I'm curious what you think some of the advantages are of hosting NFTopia convention in the metaverse environment versus doing it in person.
So obviously I would love to see you all in person, hug you, and have great conversations with you, maybe share drinks and like eat good food. But at the same time, I could also do that in the virtual sense. Granted, I won't be able to physically shake your hand, but in the metaverse, so when we hosted an inverse metaverse, I was able to shake everybody's hand. I was able to take selfies with them with my avatars, or share my screen and play different games, and also share my videos so we can see each other face to face. And not only that, some people that I never thought I would be able to see, I've seen from different parts of the world. There were many events where I was awake. Maybe I was asleep for a total of 4 hours. And so I was able to touch every time zone when people were inside of the space. And so I get everybody from all parts of the world, from Philippines to UK, obviously in North Americas, and Australia. They're everywhere. And that's something that is kind of difficult to achieve when you're in person. I mean, there's travel restrictions, or maybe you're sick. You can attend the metaverse even when you're sick. So, I mean, if you're able, right? But I'm trying to say there are less limitations. It's also cheaper on everybody's side to host in the metaverse. Enotopia is free, by the way, for all attendees. And so that's like one thing, because when you go to these big events, you're spending maybe $300, and then that's not even including travel and hotel and how much you're going to spend on food. But in the metaverse, you can cook at home. You can show me you're cooking at home while we're just having a chat, So I think the flexibility is what I like the best.
Yeah, if I could add briefly to that, I love the idea of conferences in the metaverse, and I can't wait for that to be kind of scaled up with VR and all the tech that's coming to allow these sorts of things to be more immersive. But just kind of anecdotally, my experience, I got involved, I think, you know, in the space, really dove in 2020 during COVID. And the way I did that in large part was through attending different conferences within Decentraland. And, when I look back at kind of those early days of the NFT space and when things started to really take off, and I think about where I met a lot of my contacts, both business and friends, and where they met each other. I wouldn't be surprised if one day people start connecting the dots and realize that the vast majority of the interactions that we were having were happening within the metaverse during that early phase. I discovered Polygon, for example, through a exhibit that they put together in Decentraland, and that led to me meeting with their team and the Decentraland team, and all these other things that kind of flowed from that. I met the founder of Maker's Place through a contact that I met within Decentraland. And so, that was the beginning of Jose Delbo getting involved in the crypto art space and bringing comic art to the crypto art space. So, a lot of these things had their roots. And, when I think back at the who's, the famous artists of the time and the influencers who are now, being followed by tons of people, all those guys were all meeting in little 30, 40 person groups at these conventions in the metaverse in 2020. And it was fascinating. It was awesome.
And let's not forget, everybody has made long-term friends over the internet for years, right? I have friends I've been playing League of Legends with for over 10 years that I met on TeamSpeak.
Yeah, I'd like to add to that question. It's very fitting because I was just at a Rare Evo convention not long ago in Denver. It's a Web3 convention. I got a free ticket to go there, and then I still spent over $1,000 on a plane and 3 hotel nights. And then when I came back, I had COVID. So in 3 words, it's convenience for the metaverse. I mean, convenience, no geolocation boundaries, and low cost. I know some people really like the in-person, the interactions, and meeting people face to face. I must say it was different and nice to talk Web3 and face to face with a bunch of people, because where I'm at, there's not that many. But so much of it can be done in the metaverse. We're speaking through cams and mics. And then more on top, because we're screen sharing and we're showing different things. You can pop in whenever you want. You're not stuck there all day. And then, at least NFTopia, you can attend completely for free, right from your computer. Anyone in the world. We meet people all over, to the exhibitors and the attendees. We have them from all over the place. And then the experiences on top of that, we have the metaverse can offer huge game-like environments and activities that you don't get in the real life. We could be exploring anything. Danu Games there, Avalon. We'll have a convention in medieval times someday. It could be anything at all, and all these different things and gamified activities. So at NFTopia, we have achievement badges where you scavenger hunts, looking for different things. And then where it's Web3 related too, that's the topic. It makes it so easy to be able to just click out and look at things. We have so many drops at our convention. We celebrate drops. And on Wax, it's mostly Wax blockchain. We want multi-chain too, but so far it's been mostly Wax projects. And it's all about quick drops. We'll do a race. Everyone's looking at the drop. Everyone's buying it really quickly. There's links all over the place, and you can just do that very easily through the metaverse. You're not in real life with QR codes trying to fumble with your phone. You're right there on your desktop. And then as technology moves forward, we'll be in VR too, and we'll elevate everything more to where you'll actually be seeing everything face to face for real through the goggles. So it's a very exciting future, and I think many benefits to the metaverse for this type of use case.
Thanks, guys. Brick, while I got you up here, switching gears a little bit, I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about how projects and companies can leverage your consumer break app to engage with their communities and also find new audiences.
Sure. Well, if you take a look at the app, it's a free app. It's in the App Store and Google Play. It's like I said earlier, kind of jigsaw style, but it's also unique glass-like shard pieces, which makes it kind of fun. And while people are playing, while they're solving these puzzles, they're memorizing the content that's on the puzzles. That's part of the game. There's actual ad images or content from the projects, the collaborators. And in order to solve the puzzles and do well, because you're trying to score fast, you have to memorize the content. There's also the click-through link. So it's very, very engaging. And then, sure, the players we already have, currently it's 150 or so players. So you'd be exposing it to them. But again, like I said earlier, it's a package deal. So like whenever we do these things, I'll also bring you on the Twitch, interview you, let you show off everything that you do. We call them AMAs, ask questions. The chat will ask questions. The collabs can bring their communities over to ours. So it's all about sharing communities and education. And then you pair that also with the convention, and it's like that on turbo mode. We actually have live interviews all day long during those conventions. Our next one will be November 4th and 5th. But Consumer Break kind of goes with that too. So while I'm live stream hosting everything, we also do these puzzles and showcase those. So as of the past 2 years, we've mostly done like a collab every 2 weeks or so, or 1 week, where we're showcasing one at a time. But we're actually working to form some partnerships to have kind of more long term. In fact, we already do. The Goo Balls, they have a puzzle game that happens every week, and they're offering cash and wax prizes just to have people engaged with their stuff. So we're going to also do more of that too. But that's kind of the benefits that, again, very simple. It's a very simple puzzle game, but the fact that you are interacting with them, also with custom audio throughout it, music, narration, sounds, kind of creates a much more gamified experience than just like a Twitter post or an ad or something like that.
Awesome, thanks. Yeah, you really unique little ecosystem right there. Love it. So moving on to Marius. You talked a bit before about how Avalon is building multi-chain on a bunch of these different chains: Polygon, Ethereum, Wax, BSC, IMX. I guess outside of kind of why you guys built it, why do you think, like in general, it's really important for games to build in a multi-chain way?
All right. Thank you for giving me voice. When I was we're looking at the chains when we started creating the game, we were looking on the size of community and activity on the marketplace and safety of the chain and how long it was tested. It's if you have a good group of coders, all the blockchains in general, most of them are quite the same on the back end. For those of you that know how the blockchain works, and you don't know really which of these companies are going to last and how long, because they're all like PR marketing magic. So it's good to have your project on multiple chains to choose the best one and also be safe and keep the community safe. And that's stuff that people don't really talk about here. Oh, we're going to go on this particular chain. But how's the community? How's the marketplace? What's the company doing? Are they promoting? How do you guys think the chain is going to be around for another 5 years? So these are very important questions, and nobody's asking that. Everybody thinks that this or the other chain is going to last forever. We're building a MMO that's going to last for a very long time. We cannot just be dependable on the one chain. Therefore, we go and try a bunch of them. And there's a lot of good ones, and there's a lot of really good ones that are coming. But would you guys test drive your car? If nobody really ever tried the engine inside of it, would you build the car around it? So there's a lot of chains that are promoted right now, how amazing they are, but nobody tested them for 2 years. No, you don't know the limitations of it, right? The testnets just came out, and they ask everybody and give you incentives to come in. So we tried the chains that will be known, like Binance, Wax, that's really an EOS, Antelope chains. It's actually, I'm telling you guys that the Antelope ecosystem is, I think, one of the best in the world, like in the top 3 or 4. And then we went with Polygon. No issues with Polygon. Fees very low. We tried the community to have 0 fees, 0 transfer issues. Also, we were looking for chains that have a solid marketplaces with a solid UI displaying NFTs and easy to log into the games. Unfortunately, we faced MetaMask that has been stuck in a stone age, still trying to chop off the rocks while everybody else is flying to Mars. And many of the chains have been using MetaMask for some reason. And there's no good solution for that until Venly came in. And then Venly came in and we have social wallets, and they collect all the chains in a social wallet. And I have a lot of players and they don't know nothing about the blockchain. But they just, how do I open an account? Well, you just give them your Apple login and that's it. And you get your NFTs, and you don't even need to know they create wallet for you. More safer MetaMask, maybe they still get in break-in. But that's kind of the thing that we're trying to choose, use many of them to choose the one that we can last with. But it's not really all that difficult also if you have a good product to create your own chain. Many of these large corporations will build a chain for you. And then you have that chain, you're not dependable on what the third party is going to do with them. So that's something I want to, if somebody is creating games here, take a closer look of how can you create your custom chain for yourself. In the future, like, you're going to be the owner. Nobody out there is going to shut down a 100,000 player community because they decided to bankrupt companies. So these are the things that I'm trying to keep everybody aware. If you're choosing the chains, you make sure that they will last. So that was kind of us. Safety, yes, I guess they're all pretty safe. Like, guys, every other game got broke in. You name it. I'm not going to be naming the games, but everybody that did DAO basically got broke in, because why would you do DAO? It's like telling everybody, hey, this is my treasure chest, come and break into it. So we never did that. We stayed away from these proposals. And there was tons of chains that came into us, some of them popular, just to bring our IP to their chain. And we decline a lot of chains because who has more valuable IP? That's something that you guys also have to think in the future. Like, you guys building brands here. So some of you, at some point, your brand is actually worth more than pumped out company that just has a code and try to say how much money they're going to make. And a lot of these chains brought a bunch of games, and then folded gaming divisions, already 3 of them, because they just raised the value of the company and raised more money and build homes for that and all that stuff I don't want to talk about, but you know how that is. So again, try to use as many as you can. Currently, many of the chains have a small grants that you can apply for if you're building. Some of them are very friendly. I can promote any chains aside of the ones that I have there. But just try to really, guys, look, is the community active? How many marketplaces do I have? How easy is for me to transfer the NFTs? And what kind of projects are on that chain? Are there like top of the line projects or the bottom projects? So that was kind of my decision, just to go for the 4 top ones back in the day. This is changing. There's new chains coming, new systems coming, and the more we see it, the more we thinking really to have our own product, just to don't be dependable. All right. I hope that was not too long, guys.
Oh, that was great. Thank you. Appreciate it. Funny NFT guy, are you with us?
Yes. Oh my word! Like, in that split second, I'd literally just taken the baby after a massive discussion about when I should take it or not. So I was having lovely cuddles, but I thought that I was going to be later on. So yeah. So no, it's all fine now. It's all fine. It's all taken care of. So I'm here.
Perfect. Hey.
Hey.
So your question, so you're going to be headed to MCM Comic Con in Birmingham in the UK in December.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about your involvement at the convention and what are some of the things you're most looking forward to there?
Okay, yeah. So a bit of history. Won't. It's people know are going for the memorial lecture. So people that know me will be sighing now, because you should never give me the mic. But yeah. So basically, this started about 18 months ago when I originally started Drawn Company, because it became very apparent that the audience within Wax itself is large, but there's a bigger untapped market of people out there who are already collecting stuff digitally. They probably don't want to make the step to NFTs because they've heard that NFTs are bad. But what we need to take to these people to onboard them is the message of digital collectibles. We're not NFTs, we are digital collectibles. So I approached Repop, who run MCM, sort of like March last year, and I said, look, I think there's a room for us to do a sort of collaboration where I bring the Wax blockchain, Drawn Company, and other people. Actually, in fact, we've got Broken Dolls here, so if he requests to speak, he's my partner in crime with Comic Con. We do it all together. And one thing I always like in these spaces is to bring him up to mop up after I've forgotten to tell all the crucial things or talked about the wrong things. So if he requests to speak, we can get him on. But yeah, where was I? I lost my train of thought. So we approached them and said, yeah, we'd like to bring Wax, but more importantly, we gave them sort of like options on the type of content we could create for them so that they could start having the conversation about NFTs with the people who were coming to the convention. And they really liked the idea. And we went there last year. It was a fairly low-key affair. We funded it ourselves. We also had support from Schnazzy. She was awesome. And Nefty Blocks to get a bit of print. But I used to work in nightclubs and I used to do a lot of freshers fairs. So I used to have a little budget to buy plastic bags, put sweets in the plastic bags, maybe buy some armbands, let's buy some cool print, and we'll get people to our nightclub. So this year, yeah, we're going back. There's been a lot more planning go into it. Wax are 100% on board because they saw what we did on such a small budget last year. So they're really supporting us this year, and we've got sort of like, we're going to have a big screen on the stand, because last year we had to do everything with print. I mean, there was no way we could afford like to do anything above and beyond. So we're going to be showing people what goes on with Funko as the main draw, obviously on the Wax blockchain. And there's a lot of people who go to conventions who collect Funko Pops. So that's going to be the first thing that they're interested in. You can buy these digitally as well, guys. And you'd be surprised. There's two surprises. I'll let Broken Dolls say the second big surprise because he'll know what that is. But the first big surprise is the amount of people that walk past and just don't know that you can collect Funkos digitally, which just surprises me because you think if you're trading these in real life and buying them, you must know. They don't know that we're there. And of course, off the back of that, as I said before, on the Wax blockchain, I honestly believe, I'll put my hand on my heart on it, I work with some of the best creators in Web3, the best digital artists, full stop, end of story. And the reason we've had to be so creative on the Wax blockchain as opposed to people on other chains is we've had to really fight for it because we're viewed as the dollar store. So, like, you know, we've had to be really innovative in our approaches to the way we build stuff, and the way what we put out and how we build brands. So, yeah,
I
we're
think it's
going
an
back.
advantage, by the way, Matt.
Yeah.
Sorry for.
Yeah.
I think now it's an advantage because, and how do y'all, this like space as I don't even know how to call it, but this space have evolved kind of backwards. Like you can see it in the gaming that like they're doing the technology and doing all the stuff and not asking if the game is fun before they do it. And I think there's the money aspect of it, as we call it, the boom, was amazing if you held the right stuff at the right moment. What was kind of destructive towards the space in a PR way because it's considered by NFTs are the devil, etc., etc. And when we came on, and when we came on to Comic-Con and talked to people and put aside that economical stuff like the flipping and the trading and show them that because Wax is a feeless token with no fees in the transaction, etc., and it's kind of cheap, you can you show that guy that you can get a full set and I don't know, $8. And that was something that nobody even realized before because they was thinking it's only for high rollers and big spenders or investment sort of, scene. And I think the more the space evolves, we must go away from those stuff. And yeah, that's why we chose the terms like digital collectibles because it's less I don't know. I don't know the word. It sounds better, and it's actually true because
Yeah,
a
it
lot of
doesn't
those
have a
people.
bad connotation.
Yeah,
No,
connotation. That's the word.
it's
That's the
familiar.
word of facts there.
And
And the thing is
for
that most people
sorry,
actually collect stuff, and they're good in collecting the stuff without flipping them or having that
yeah,
extra profit. You know.
and
Go
that's what
ahead,
we
Matt.
tried to.
Sorry for
Sorry,
barging.
so no, that's cool. That's one thing. Whether we sort of like rely on is the fact that people are collecting stuff digitally with digital collectibles, as we call them. You have the chance to own them. You can actually sell them. You can't do that. We've already talked about this. You can't do that in Web 2. iTunes in the terms and conditions tell you that if the song is removed from the store that you've paid your hard money for, then it just disappears from your account unless you've got a digital copy of it. Same with the eShop. People are buying digitally on the eShop, so why shouldn't they buy collectibles digitally? So this year we're really looking forward to it, as I say, because we've got a bit of backing, we've got the resources to get a full marketing suite. We've got lots of sweets, we've got lots of bags. We're doing wax wristbands. We're doing more exclusive stuff. Last year we went with loads of NFTs in a wallet. We're not doing that this year. We're going to just show people the
We
type of
also got loads of
thing that.
NFTs if anybody wants. I got a load of
Yeah,
NFTs for giveaways, but yeah, that's
yeah,
not the.
yeah. Yeah, that it's right. It's sort of like, it sounds ironic, but one thing we're probably not taking in abundance is NFTs. We'll have QR codes which will link people to more valuable items from key collections on the chain. So we'll be able to say, look, if you sign up for an account, you can get this. It's worth X amount. Do whatever you want with it. But we're really looking forward to it. And yeah, last year was a success, and we're gonna fight to make this year an even bigger success. So thanks for having us on to spread the message. If there's any wax projects in here who haven't already gone to the NFTopia Discord, it's a simple thing to do. Find the Comic Con channel, and I've posted a post in there. Just put the 100 emoji on it. You're going to be included in Comic Con so long as you meet the deadlines that we put in for the print, because we're gonna have to go to print sort of like early November. But yeah, that's us. Thanks for having us on, guys.
There you go, no problem. Yeah, very exciting collaboration you guys got with Wax at the Comic Con. I go to a lot of Comic Con events, so it's always exciting when I see Web3 projects there.
Yeah, man.
So I guess before we do our last question here, I think it's a good time to announce the winner of our giveaway. So the winner of a Simon Satoshiverse NFT trading card is Jotzi at Jotzi. Congratulations, Jotzi. Please. And then moving on to the last question here. Let's skip that one. So, what are some of your favorite games that you've played recently, Web 2 or Web 3, and what made them so special? Does anybody have anything that they've played recently that they've really enjoyed?
Well,
I'm
so I'll be
addicted
very
to
generic.
Baldur's Gate 3, and there is no life beyond Baldur's Gate 3, and that's it. Thank you.
Literally, my friends disappeared after playing.
I'm still playing Zelda, which is causing much hilarity to people that I know around me, because I'm like 50 hours in and I still haven't even completed the main story because it's so pretty, and I get very easily distracted. So I've been lost in that for like the past forever, and it's an absolute dream. Every time I pick it up, I feel like I'm a 13-year-old boy again playing the first ever video game, because it's just like full of surprises. It's beautiful. It's a masterpiece. I've got to go anyway, guys, because I'm on bedtime duty. So thanks for having me.
Thanks
No,
for being
thanks for
here.
joining. Yeah, it's been great to have you.
Nick, have you been playing anything recently besides our game?
I've been playing a lot of Satoshi's Legions, but besides our game, I played the last game I really dove into was Diablo 4, and it was bittersweet. I really was excited about Diablo 4. I thought it actually they did a good job with the campaign mode and the real playthrough, but then just they really lost me with the end game, and the item, ownership and progression. And it was a little disappointing to see the direction they chose to go. So I had a ton of fun until I got to that, maybe 50-hour point, and then it just wasn't that fun anymore. I think Diablo 2 might have been one of the greatest games ever made, and unfortunately, the things I really loved about it are things that a lot of major MMORPGs and are going away from. And it's sad to see. I think that we're starting to see kind of a divide in either player economies versus really no player economies, whether they're centralized or decentralized. And I think even Diablo has started to move away from the player economy, even though that was such an important part of the earlier games. So that was my favorite that I played recently up until I got to the end of it.
Awesome. If nobody has anything else to add here, I'm gonna throw it back to Nick to close this out.
Yeah, no, thank you all so much. It's awesome to continue to do these spaces and to keep hearing about the great things that projects are doing. Congrats to Danu Games on the Epic Games listing. That's really, really cool, and I'm glad to see more and more legitimate games
Thank you.
getting listed. And I think it's awesome. I think this is what we need, right? If we're going to get people to be exposed to really quality projects. So really glad that you guys could join. I'm super excited for NFTopia and all that you guys are doing. I think that's going to be a really cool event. Also, Consumer Break, like I said before, I think it's a really unique way that you guys are approaching user acquisition, and I'm going to look more into it and see if there's anything we can do together, because I think it's really, really unique and awesome. So yeah, just thank you all so much. Really, really good time talking to all of you. Learned a lot. And of course, thank you to everybody who joined live. We also typically get a lot of people who watch the recorded version. So thanks to you guys too, whenever you're listening or hearing this. But for all of you who made it live, we really appreciate seeing all those faces in the audience. So thank you. And what I'll do now is I'll stop talking. If anyone else wants to say a few words before we sign off, please do. And then just please follow everybody. Everybody's doing good stuff. So please give them a follow. Pay attention to what their projects are doing. These are the builders of today and tomorrow. So really, thanks to everyone.
I just want to say thank you for having us on here. Consumer wanted me to bring up that we actually just sold out of our small booths, and so we can't wait for everybody to join us at NFTopia Light, which is going to be in a new metaverse. It's going to be November 4th to 5th. All the information, just follow us and then check our website. All the stuff is there. There are other ways to participate with us. We did have to keep the booth amount low so that we can test out how this metaverse works, because as we all know, in other metaverse spaces, it's all about testing, trial and error to try to figure out, okay, what's the sweet spot? How many assets can we hold in here? How is this going to affect the experience? So as much as I want to include like every single one of us here, we did have to keep the amount of space that's taken up by sponsors and exhibitors a bit limited, but there's tons of ways to still get involved, including just, I think I saw wearing a Lion Gaming. He goes through a walkthrough of our space on live stream, and he posts it on YouTube. So I'm excited to see more people do the same thing, and they can host their events as well with us. If you're an influencer, if you're just a community member and you just want to contribute to the community and say, hey, this is who I am. I'm going to be walking around the space. If you find me, take a selfie with me. Maybe I'll give you a surprise or something like that,
Yeah, to add to that, so November 4th and 5th, of course, you can follow us on here and get to the websites, but we encourage everybody listening to come on over as an attendee. It's totally free. And both days will be totally filled with live events, interview AMA events with projects and their own events, different things, panels, things like that. Very educational, especially if you're not into the Wax blockchain. Come on over and learn about some of these awesome projects. And then Consumer Break, go ahead and give that a shot. It's also free. Give it a shot. See if you like it. Maybe you even win something, learn something on there. And I didn't answer the gaming question. I'm kind of one of those 24/7 worker people that doesn't have much time for gaming. I will say that Danu Games Avalon, it's the best as far as Web3 games, video games go. High quality games go. It is on point. And we're excited. I've interviewed him a few times before. We're excited to have you back for a large booth at this one. So it's going to be awesome.
Oh, thank you. I just want to throw in thank you for having us here. I'm going to look into that event that's in Birmingham. We will try to get our little game out there too, so people can see us there. So I'm going to contact whoever we're supposed to. If not, please reach out to us. And maybe I throw something good here for everybody that's still in the space. If you guys join our Discord and come and comment that you came here from this space, to the first 4 people that are going to join in, we're going to give you a free 1-week passes to play Avalon on Wax. So jump in and come and play with us. Just join our Discord. You can join to this profile that you see here and just comment that you came from here, and you're going to receive the free pass to play Avalon. And thank you for having us, guys.
All right, thank you. We'll close this out. One little plug at the end for Satoshiverse. If you guys didn't already click the link at the top, that will have all the information you need to test out the game. It's free. It's on testnet, but there's some awesome mainnet prizes. So check it out. Thank you again to everyone who's been here. Thank you again to everyone who presented, who listened, and we will see you next week for another exciting episode. Thanks, everybody. Signing off now.
Bye.